live. Am I live or is this Memorex? I don't know what time it is. 11:44. So let's aim. Let me text Ham. Or I just said to Ham that you guys would like to hear him at noon, presuming that you do. Let's just go through some of the stock prices. Yes, the question everyone wants to know. I'm sure. Do I still like Railtown, AI Technologies? Yes. I think the pullback is healthy. It's decent volume compared to how the stock used to trade. But for recent trading, it's not a lot of volume. And I continue to believe that on Railtown, anything under 40 cents is a gift. Probably anything under 60 cents is a gift. And we'll see how news comes if it comes. I have no specific knowledge of any news or anything. But if I'm correct in my thesis, which is this is an R&D, I'm using my own words, an R&D company created an extraordinary product which causes a leapfrog in efficiency and cost and results, and it's starting to get awareness. We'll see. They've made a couple of announcements that are nothing. Well, one was pretty important. They had that demo night. But anyway, we'll see. Maybe nothing happens in terms of announcements until January. You know, it's Christmas time in Washington. And Democrats rehearse. Republicans, God, I used to know it. Drink whiskey neat. I can't play it because I think last time I played music, I got some, but I can sing it to you. It's Christmas time in Washington. The Democrats rehearsed, getting into gear for 4 more years. Things not getting worse. Republicans drink whiskey neat and thanked their lucky stars. They said he cannot seek another term. There'll be no more FDRs. I sat at home in Tennessee, just staring at the screen, with uneasy feelings in my chest, wondering what it means. So come back, Woody Guthrie, come back to us now. Tear your eyes from paradise and rise again somehow. If you run into Jesus, maybe he can help you out. Come back, Woody Guthrie, to us now. Anyway, DC's empty. I think the Democrats have left because they're not doing anything. And Christmas is coming. And then the Republicans don't really come here until the end of January. So there may be very little news or any activity in rail. But I continue to believe, just based on how the charts acted, how the volume was there, I really think you're going to be happy to own rail below 40 cents. Then let's see what else is out there. Finger is down 2 cents, 204. Ham will talk about it. Nixie is 466, up a penny. I think Nixie on one chart And charts are like statistics. They can say whatever you want them to say. But I think on one chart I'm looking at right now, it's kind of forming a head and shoulders pattern, which is a negative pattern if it gets formed. So you could see Nixie sell off, during the quiet times of the next couple of weeks. I don't know. But that chart, if I were looking at that chart brand new, I wouldn't necessarily take a full position in Nixie. I'd try to get it lower. I'd try to buy some now, buy some lower. But I remain. Nixie is pixie. Nixie is sexy. Nixie is the maxi. Nixie is ritzy. Don't be afraid of Nixie, but anything that doubles, more than doubles, has a pause for the cause. And I'd like to see it go a little lower. That would give me more confidence of its ultimate move upward, believe it or not. So there's that one. DJT is not on. Yes, it's up 36 cents. GME, for those who follow it, up $1.42. T-Low's hitting a new low. I say that in jest, just rhymes. 459. Ham's G-Bucks is at 115. That stock drug is at 38. Nvidia is, I guess, making new highs at 133. The Dow is up 260. NASDAQ is up. S&P is up. From my own perspective, this is pretty dramatic. The Fed did not promise to cut rates in the future. What does that mean? They want a stronger dollar. They want to fight inflation. The economy's overheating. Maybe. My guess is they want the dollar to be strong because they need monies to come in and pay for our wars. I believe we're in World War III. I believe we're in World War III because Israel controls Congress. And for those of you who want to hate me, oh, that's anti-Semitic. It's not anti-Semitic. It's the truth. Nobody stands up against Israel. Nobody, including Trump. He won't. As Israel's launching wars everywhere. Thank God Putin is taking a measured approach to Blinken, who I think leads our foreign policy, and who's either his parents or grandparents are Ukrainian Jews. So he's fighting what the Tsar did, which was horrible. Remember Fiddler on the Roof? If I were a rich man. Da, 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 da. The Cossacks and the Tsars men were horrible. But that's 100 years ago. Do we have to go into World War III over it? I guess we do. And it helps that the banks benefit. So I think we're in World War III, and maybe the powers that be want our dollar strong, so the Saudis can continue to sell oil in dollars. So this war is about our banks and about the preeminence of the U.S. financial system, along with London and along with Tokyo. That's it. That's what's going on. And we're squandering our integrity, our ideals for what? For what? But anyway, let's see. We can recover. We're a good country. We late to the game. We absorbed every part of the Jewish population who was maligned and tortured and killed. We absorbed them all and welcomed with full open arms. And we've absorbed the Vietnam population. We've absorbed the Irish and the Italians and the Lithuanians and the Poles. And we have a great country. The Asians, the Chinese, the Japanese. And that's our ideal. Let's get back to our ideal. Let's be a good nation again. let's not do all this killing. It's not going to end well for us. But anyway, I think the Dow, just to go back to that, I think the Dow is still on its way to 60,000. I know that sounds crazy because all the headlines, the Dow's down 10 days, 11 days, whatever the D head's name is that runs Treasury, Powell comes out and he changed what he's promising. They don't know what they're doing at the Fed. How long is it going to take you to realize they're not good doctors? That's the Norm Macdonald line about Kirk Corkian. When are you going to realize he's not a good doctor? The Fed doesn't know what they're doing. Nothing, none of it. They control the overnight rates. That's it. Now, I will give you a warning. A guy I follow, Gregory Mannarino, and I'll try to put up his arguments. He's a trader, though. He's more of a trader. His index is flashing warning, warning, warning. It's over 300, which means that the bond market is under severe stress. And at some point, the bond market, was it Bill Clinton who said he used to want to come back as a baseball pitcher or a jazz musician or a, I don't know what. He had a list. And he said, if there's reincarnation, I now want to come back as the bond market. They call them bond vigilantes. And the world is going to come up to the fact that we have to change. You know, all these green Californians and the greenies, they're onto something. They're onto something. I personally am on the side that human beings are changing the planet. We're putting carbon that took eons to bury, we're putting it back up in the atmosphere in 400 years. Well, okay, what are we going to do? Go sit on a glacier and freeze to death? We're changing the planet. So we have to adapt. I think ignoring that we're changing it is equally as limp-minded as saying that we have to get rid of all oil and gas. I personally think we have to leave the coal in the ground, but we're not cooperating. Nobody's cooperating. Instead, we're going to war. So somehow that's going to save the planet. Our tanks burn hundreds of gallons of fuel just to move 5 miles, and that's somehow green. And thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you, Anthony Blinken. Thank you, Victoria Nuland. Thank you, Hillary Clinton. Let's go to war against all those Arabs. Thank you, Benjamin Netanyahu. A war criminal. A criminal just in his own right. If he stops the war, he's going to prison. I mean, the one thing good about Israel, they still have journalism, and they still have the rule of law. They still have honest people, and they have people who speak their mind, unlike the United States. They're well educated. So if Netanyahu loses his position of power, he's toast. But guess what? Donald Trump and his completely corrupt and disgusting son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Kushner just wants to turn Gaza Strip into a beachfront so he can make money. It's despicable. Despicable. I like Ivanka. I don't like her husband at all. All right, so Nix is down. I'm glad to see it. 2 minutes for Ham. He'll call in. I think I covered. You know, the website that's very interesting for headlines now is Yahoo Finance. I was reading it yesterday after the Fed. They have some insightful bullet point headlines. Government shutdown odds rise. U.S. existing home sales jump more than expected. Apple added ChatGPT. The Fed is already thinking about life under Trump. U.S. pros Nvidia. I'm imitating him. French fry maker plunges. U.S. economy grows at a healthier pace in Q3, so that's why he's not going to cut rates. Bill Wong's bid for less prison time rejected. U.S. yield curve is steepest since 22. That's good, I think. We've had a lot of malinvestment. Big lots might bankrupt. Stocks rebound from Fed-fueled rout. Brazil spends $8 billion. Some senator says Bitcoin's long-term growth far exceeds the US dollar. Stock markets are misinterpreting the Fed. Look, this sell-off yesterday, it was 1,000 points. After the market goes up next year, you're going to wake up one day and the Dow will be down 10,000. So anyway, all right, let's see. It's 12 o'clock. Let's see if there's any questions. I'm currently running my live stream. All right, guys, you can go over to Lion of All Trades and avoid my claptrap. He's running charts. He's good at charts. So's Avid Trader, and so's Arca. Good morning, Nunya, Chris. Thank you for joining. Merry Christmas. Brooks only halt means stocks true. It seems that way. All right, here, get ready. The recovery seems unlikely. Continuing will be 40 trillion in debt. I actually think we're going to be a lot more in debt than that. We're going to push it to the limit one more time. Take it to the limit. Gonna take it to the limit one more time. I think we're going to grow the debt. I used to say to 50 trillion, but I would guess to 100 trillion before it all collapses. There's going to be a reset. And the reason we're getting away with this debt right now is China wants more gold. I think China already has more gold than the United States, but China wants more gold. You know that cornball expression, he who has the gold makes the rules. The next financial system will be created by China, Russia, India, maybe Brazil, maybe Japan, maybe Germany, maybe Italy, maybe the UK. But it'll be China, Russia, India, maybe Iran for sure, and then the United States. It'll be all based on how much gold we have. So they're letting us do this while they accumulate more gold. Keith, I met in London, spent a lot of time with an investor, an American serviceman, wealthy guy, not on Arab, not on sheikh terms, but he very wealthy guy. Spent a lot of time with him. He took me through the whole story of the USS Liberty, and that was 25 years ago, then 20 years ago. He wanted me to raise money. He wrote a documentary about it. I think he wrote a book about it. I've known about the USS Liberty for 2 or 3 decades. Israel attacked and sunk a United States warship and killed U.S. I don't know if they were Marines, but U.S. sailors. Who cares? Who cares? It'd be anti-Semitic to point it out. I don't think that's right. anti-Semitism is different than being anti-Zionist, but leave that out. It's different than being anti-war criminal. It has nothing to do with whether or not Netanyahu is Jewish. It has something to do with that guy is unhinged. He's a liar. He's a killer. He's a murderer. And I think he's as bad as anybody you can name out of history. But anyway, that's my view on Netanyahu. I don't know PBM. Winnie. Wow, Winnie. Bouncing up. Nix. Nix is the fix. Hey, Patrice, sign me up for what? Go into an insane asylum? New pandemic. Yeah, they got to control us. The Finger dividend, what I think Finger's going to do, let's see if there's news on Finger today. I think Finger's going to announce their audit. Got created up instead. I don't want to read created. No news on Finger this morning. So they're going to announce their audit. Then they submit it to the SEC. It's the, there's probably a manila folder with all the paperwork on some intern's desk. She will pull that out, give it to her boss. Her boss is an attorney, and she will say, okay, checklist, check, 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 goose. And the goose will be that we needed the audit. All right, let's review the audit. Looks great. She'll refer it up to her boss, Virginia Countrywide. Virginia Countrywide will look at it and say, okay, we approve the dividend. Sign off, sign off, sign off, sign off. Inform Finger Motion, we approve the dividend. Finger Motion will get that notice on a day. Then Finger Motion probably will go to their attorneys to say, could you write up a press release that does not get the CEO in trouble and go to jail? Remember, the criminals can say whatever they want. They can collude. They can hire Crappy Barra. Gary Gensler and the SEC doesn't care what the criminals do. Why? Because the criminals are an extension of Stevie Cohen, an extension of Ken Griffin, an extension of Lloyd Blankenfein. They're an extension of Sam Flink. All in my opinion, of course. But that's what they are. They're not going to go after them. They'll go after the CEO. So Finger will contact their lawyer. Their lawyer will be on Christmas holiday. And then their other lawyer will be on Hanukkah holiday. Their other lawyer doesn't believe in any of that and is out skiing. And she won't return until January 3rd or 6th even, because she's on an extended vacation. So she may come back, write up the press release. Finger Motion puts out the press release. We pass the audit. We're ready to go. The SEC has approved our dividend, and it might be the first week in January before we know that. Then Finger has to say, we are notifying everyone that in 10 days, it's a record date. So if we look at it, tomorrow the world goes on vacation. If we look at it, the SEC will be on vacation. If we look at it, maybe Finger gets their audit done before the end of the year because they need to for a host of reasons. And they're putting a lot of pressure on the auditor. But auditors are slower than the World Bank. They're slower than attorneys. And they're slower than your mother walking in front of you at a shopping mall. So New Year's is Wednesday the 1st. Is anybody going to come back from vacation on Thursday the 2nd or Friday the 3rd? I doubt it. So I would think the best case scenario for SEC approval, if the audit is filed, best case scenario is January 2nd. Best case scenario the finger motion attorneys write a press release that gets released on January 8th, Elvis Presley's birthday. That gets published. They set 10 days. So let's say they start the count on the 9th, Richard Nixon's birthday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's Saturday the 18th. So the most likely ex-dividend date for the dividend will be Martin Luther King's birthday celebration date of the 20th. Oh no, that's a holiday. So it'll probably be January 21st. You're a month away from the ex-dividend date on finger motion. Can you please stop asking about the dividend? It's a month away. I'm not mad at anybody. It just frustrates me, that question. It's not, by the way, it's not going to be magical. It's not like issue the dividend, the stock's $50. It's going to take time. Does patient mean someone's doctor experiment on? Well, I have to go to the doctor again on the 31st. I have to take some new blood pressure medicine so that my doctor will approve getting my eye fixed. So yeah, that might be on my mind. Thank you, Media Junkie. Oh, what a girl. What a girl. I don't know. I think I would hug her. She wouldn't let me. Then I would try to play with her ears. She might not let me do that. Then I would try to grab her by the snout. She probably wouldn't let that. So I just let her jump up on me. Silver below 30. Yay, 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 yay. That's the best news I heard all day. That's great. Guys and girls, silver, you gotta buy silver. This whole market is pulling back. You know why silver's down? All in, and I bet gold's down too, is because the knee-jerk reaction to the Fed is, well, interest rates are higher. People are going to leave money in yields rather than metals. That's great. It gives us a chance to buy more. Gives us a chance. I got to do some year-end videos on it. But there will come a time, to use a phrase that some analyst, I guess, some prognosticator said about silver, it's going to become unobtainium. You're not going to be able to obtain it. I think that's months or years away, but it could happen very quickly. One thing I notice in the market is things can happen very quickly. And I think a lot of people are being educated about silver. And so I think things can happen very quickly. So I love it that it's under 30. That's the best news because I want to buy some. At least we get dividend on. Yeah, that's true. Ham will talk to you about it. Let me see if he called me. No, he didn't. He's in therapy. Ham he believes that Trump's people know all about short selling. So that's good news. And that's different than what I said yesterday. Gold price below, that's great. Dip below 2,600. I don't know how to look at a chart, but maybe there's a chart under AU. Let me just Google gold price chart. Let's do 10 years. Of course, nothing comes up. All right. Go to this one. Here. This is gold. And it's not 10 years, it's 10 days. That doesn't help me. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Let me find a different. All right, here. How about this one? Oh, good. Okay, I see a chart here. I don't think it's going to go down necessarily, but if you really want to be opportunistic, maybe it comes down to 2,400 in a spike. But I don't think gold. I mean, anything can happen. I'd say 2,400 range, a little lower, a little above. But I don't. I think it's more likely gold will go sideways than really go down, and then it will resume its upward movement. All of these pullbacks are gifts in everything, every financial asset. They're all gifts. I will let you know when I change my mind on that, but I'm sticking to my theory, which is to say it is all mine. Yeah, I think it has to be patient. It could be after the holidays. And you want it after the holidays. You don't want good news in the middle of dead time. You want it after the holidays. So we have to wait for Finger, which is kind of how I've been seeing it all along. Candace Owen. Let me see if she interviewed. I don't remember the gentleman's name that I spent time with. He was a friend of my associate in London, but I remember how he looked, and so I'll see if it's the same guy. Buongiorno. Buongiorno. Upa de peci. What's that Family Guy thing where he just makes up words? Yeah, I loved that song, Take It to the Limit. I never liked many of their other songs, but of course they did. I think they did the song Freedom. Oh, freedom is just some prisoners talking. TCBP. Let's ask Ham about that one. TCBP. Divvy. Merry Christmas, Chris. Okay, so you guys can go over to Lion thing. You're free again. Who could think? Here's a point up here. Let me see. On Finger. And the point is, once the audit's done, Finger could move. Where is it? I can't find it now. Is there any news that we might have missed? Oh, here. When the audit is done, the Finger should move along. Yes. But I think, just coincidentally, just to repeat myself, I think the fact that they've announced they're separate from Univest means, in my mind, they have other financing lined up, which is good. It won't be dilutive, and that'll give us a picture of how they spend that money, what's going on. They have to announce the third quarter earnings. Remember, their year ends at the end of February, so pretty soon, I'd say middle of January, they have to announce their third quarter earnings. I don't expect it to be barn burner, but there will be a management discussion in there. We'll get a clarity on that rescue vehicle contract, maybe clarity on big data, maybe clarity. Maybe we'll get lucky one quarter they both do the top up minutes and the SMS at the same time. Anyway, it'll be good information. And then maybe we get more information on some revenue. So I think it's going to be a good start of the year for Finger, which is what I've been guiding everyone to anyway. And I think Finger can go to $3-4. I know that's 100%. That's amazing. And stay there. And then if we get through the fourth quarter, which, that'll be the end of February. So middle of April, we'll see those year-end numbers. If they turn into positive earnings and it's predictable, repeatable, projectable, wow, Finger could be a whole different price. And then you start putting pressure on anybody short, and it doesn't let up. They can't bring it back down. That's what I'm hoping for. If Trump were to ban naked shorting, like in a signature, let's look into that. How do you ban naked shorting? How do you ban it? It is banned. They're not allowed to do it. I have somewhere, and I've got to clear it off. I have the SEC filing against the lawsuit against I can't remember who it was against. I think it's against the Kramers, Kurt Kramer. And of course, Kurt Kramer, they'll just settle and they'll continue to do their crime. But to my memory, that lawsuit, it's written by the attorneys. They did something like 600 violations since their last sign-off with the SEC in like 3 or 4 years. And they sell stock. Well, guess what? It says right in there, you're not allowed to sell stock in the United States of American markets unless you locate the shares. You're not allowed to sell stock unless you borrow the shares. You're not allowed to sell stock unless you own the shares. And under the reg show exemption, I'd have to get it back out, but I think you get a 2-day grace period. 2 days, because it's so hot and heavy. It's high frequency trading. You don't have time to check, and it's so important for these Wall Street types to make money. It's so important, and the whole world would come to an end if we required them to actually follow the rules. So we'll give them 2 days so they can be hot and heavy trading. What, in a microcap stock? Doesn't make sense. But Ann Wagner doesn't care. And you guys like her because she's a repub. Anyway, I lost track of what I was trying to say, except what I started trying to say, which is naked shorting is illegal now. It is banned now. These guys have pushed the envelope over and over and over and over again. It used to be, and what I was familiar with when I was overseas, is that now I'm going to forget what it's called. I think it's Regulation H, but it could have been F or G. But it's a safe harbor for offshore money getting into IPOs or secondary. They're allowed to sell stock they don't own. They have to cover somehow. And these things were done. But what revolutionized this crime is offshore LLCs, offshore trading. Lawyers joined in as the liars that many of them can be. And they split. Barack Obama and Bill Clinton should go down in infamy for what they both did as Democrats, not Republicans, to help the criminality that goes on in the markets. But they separated the banks into basically commercial banks and investment banking, but the investment banking was the prime brokerage side. And then they took the prop desk, the trading, and those guys went out and started a hedge fund. Compliance got lost. And when these aggressive guys realized that they could move an unsettled trade from, Joe Kramer LLC number 1 to Jim Kramer LLC number 2 to Mary Kramer LLC number 3 to Kurt Kramer LLC number 4, and they could just move the trades around, and all Wall Street wanted to see was a settlement in that fashion, at least partly. And then you could get Nadich, the lying lawyer, to say, oh, they're selling stock they don't have, but they'll have it in 6 months, which is illegal. I'm telling you, Donald Trump could write an executive order, ban short selling. It is banned. It is banned. These people collude to break the law on an industrial scale. The article with the toad on the front about the hedge fund out of Toronto. 1 year. One exchange. $17 trillion. I believe it was in Germany. 1 year. One exchange, $17 trillion. Do you think an executive order by Donald Trump's going to do anything? I like Martin Armstrong's recommendation. He writes on December 19th, gut the SEC. No government agency will willingly surrender power. Every other nation has one regulatory body, but the United States has the CFTC and the SEC, plus the Federal Reserve. If you obey the laws of one, you go to jail with the other. This hurts American citizens, for they cannot avail themselves of a hedge fund, and they must decide which sector to invest in. And this is why Martin Armstrong uses his computer, Socrates, on everything. Martin Armstrong warned the government that we should have one regulatory agency. The SEC and the CFTC have different laws which contradict each other. This hurts investment greatly. Take the domestic investor who must choose between stocks, real estate, gold, and ETC. They make those decisions, but that's what a fund manager is supposed to do. Domestically, you cannot merge that. So you have the guy who says gold is the best, the guy who says stocks are the best, and so on. They're akin to used salesmen. In other words, you have the commodities guys regulated differently than the equities guys. The bond guys will say they are the best, and so will the commodity guy, the stock guy, and the gold seller. They will all swear they are the best. Now, hedge funds are often forced to go offshore, where the hedge fund manager makes those allocations over which is best. I, Martin Armstrong, turned down an opportunity to manage $60 billion because by law, if I thought a stock would crash, I could hedge a max of 17%. So I said no. I wouldn't risk my reputation. You cannot hedge a portfolio when you know it's going down because of this nonsensical regulatory environment. Gut both agencies. Any agency, once you create it, will fight for its own survival like an animal. This situation simply does not provide the average American with the best fund management. Well, my friend, I believe, right, right, you're bloody well, right. I think my friend, my roommate brought Supertramp, bought it first. I might have, but I think he did. But I loved it. And to this day, he blares it in his offices. Yeah, Michael, I think Ham does believe it's going to happen. And the reason I'm skeptical is I've never seen it happen. And I really believe the banks control Congress. Um, they're going to go after Trump with everything they have. I think the banks are directing Netanyahu or vice versa. I don't know how it's going. But I know it's not a club I'm in. And Netanyahu wants World War III in the Middle East before Trump is president. And Trump has basically told him, go ahead and do it, because Trump, even though the liberals out there say that Trump works with the KKK, Trump is very strongly in support of not only Israel. I think we all can agree that Israel has a right to exist now, anyway. Maybe there was a debate in 1915 and 1920, but that debate's over with, and I think we can all support that. But I think Trump also supports Netanyahu. I think Trump is his first term, the first place he landed was Israel. So I think Netanyahu wants us in World War III, irreversibly in World War III. Who does it help? It helps the banks. It helps the banks. It means we issue more debt. It means there's more money sloshing around. It means they have more opportunity to steal and suck off their percentages. They own in their concentrated pools of wealth. They own the defense contractors. Right now they own a big part of the Ukraine farmland. They're going to own the right to rebuild the Ukraine. They'll own the right to develop Gaza Strip. They'll own the right to go after Palestinian oil. It will be called Israeli oil then. They'll go after the oil in the Golan Heights. They may be able to go after the Ukrainian natural gas and other resources. That's the goal anyway. So I just think we have to use the momentum created by these actors and see if we can make some money alongside of it. I hate to say we might make money because of bad, immoral policies, but I really think each of you have to start thinking as if you are a central bank, not a Western central bank, not a Western central bank, a BRICS central bank, a Russia, a China, a Brazil, an India, a Turkey, and etc. A Poland, a Czechoslovakia. Yeah, oh, and it is a plague. And you see, one thing you see over and over again is that they become these shells, and then the shells go to a guy, and he organizes a reverse split. And the guy with the shells is working with the short sellers, but he doesn't really see it because it's against his financial interests. And when you reverse split these shells to make them a new shell, bravo, the criminals have won. And then Adina Friedman wipes out 1,000 or 1,200 companies a year. She never is curious because she's not a curious human being. She's never curious. How can it be these CEOs who went to get their MBA, who raised money, who raised millions of dollars, who had business plans and ideas and hired executives and hired employees and had businesses and had technologies and they got patents? All of these companies are worthless because Jeff Easton, as a bird dog, which is all he is, he's got his mission from Stevie Cohen, arm's length, of course. Go find a company, get them to sign this toxic, poisonous contract. I'll short the hell out of it. And by the way, never call me, and I'll make sure you never go to jail. And I'll give you a kickback. I think Stevie Cohen is up to his neck in these deals. I can't prove it, so it's my opinion. It's my opinion. But does it ever cross Adina Friedman's puny brain that, wow, every year I write off thousands of companies and they're all worthless? No, because she came from Carlyle Group. She wants to be rolled in as the head of Carlyle, as the first woman. Oh, wow, I'm a woman and I'm a trailblazer. She's a effing idiot. She got where she is because she's a woman. And she's paid off $2.5 million a month. No one will say it, and it makes me a bad guy if I say it. She didn't earn where she is. She checked a box. And she doesn't do her job. Adina Friedman does not do her job. And if you're a CEO thinking that you've got to be on NASDAQ, it's just a more select slaughterhouse. That's all it is. All the rules are designed. You get a deal from Jeff Easton, he like K&W, he crushes your stock, you reverse split, you upgrade to NASDAQ, and they create options against your stock and derivatives, and it all goes on again while Adina Friedman gets her nails polished and gives speeches worldwide. And she sachets up to the podium. And well, actually, she gets up on top of the podium and stands behind the microphone. But hey, keep voting for Democrats. Keep voting for womanism. G-Bucks is moving. Wow, let me look. And by the way, I'm all for equality and all that. I just think everything's been bastardized so much, and we're paying a price. G-Bucks is on the move. 116. So Ham is making money. Wow. Daniel, that's great. Why is there a significant price difference between silver 1 ounce Eagle, monster bonds, pending here? that is not the question you meant to ask, so I'm confused. But what does happen is there's a premium on, once the production stops each year, there's a somewhat of a premium on previous year's eagles. I don't think it's worth hoarding for that reason. I also think, look, I haven't looked for this year, but in the past, the mint runs out of silver, and they stop producing, or they limit orders, so the premium comes on for that current year. But then you come around into the new year, and magically the problem is solved. And I think it has a lot to do with how the government buys its silver, and maybe how options are used to locate silver. So anyway, it's a pattern I noticed over the last 15 years, is that as you come into the early part of a new year making silver coins, there's plenty available for you. You might have to wait 3 weeks, but there's plenty. And the mint doesn't usually run out of silver until, I think the earliest I saw it was August, but it can be in the fall. And so anyway, that would be my off the cuff answer. It's not worth, in my judgment, if you do not have a big position in silver, it's not worth fine tuning it so that you own things whose premium is going to go up. Just focus on getting the ounces, and then you can get fancy with it in the future. I think the monster boxes are an excellent way to establish your first position. If you buy one, don't open it. If you need to look at the coin, buy a monster box, buy 100 ounces separately, or buy 10 ounces separately, and then you can look at the coin. Don't open the box, because it comes with a band on it, and I believe 2 bands on it, and in some cases I think it has an additional seal. So if silver were to go to $300 in a spike, and you want to sell it, you can call up, get a bid. They'll say, is it in your possession? Yes. Okay, send it overnight. We've locked in your price. And you sell it, you send it, you'll get your money in 48 hours from the time they receive it. So maybe all in, you overnight it. Maybe all in, it's 3 days. If you've opened that box and it's a high volume time, you might not get your, they're probably not going to give you a price. They might give you a price. But if it's volatile times, they would reserve the right to give you the price after they count it, whichever worked out better for them. I'm guessing. In a slow time, they'll give you a price, but it might take you 3 weeks to see your money, 21 days. So don't open it. Don't open it. It's there. If they send it to you from the mint, it's there. You don't have to open it. I would buy the Silver Eagles. I heard, I read it somewhere that another U.S. coin that's worth buying is the Silver Buffalo. I never did that before, but you could. But I think the best starting point is the Silver Eagle. If you want to expand, the maple leaves from Canada they're more pure, believe it or not. I believe they're 0.999, and I think the U.S. Eagle is 0.99. I'd have to look that up. So don't take my word. That's all by memory. They're an ounce. They're an ounce. But I think the Canadian Eagle is purer. The Austrian Monica, the Austrian. Harmony? It's not that. Philharmonic. Philharmonic. I don't remember. Anyway, the Austrian coin's a good one. And then Australia, of course, has the Rue or whatever, but they have a whole bunch of coins that are worth buying because they can become very valuable. An odd country that becomes popular is the Somalian elephant, believe it or not. Gold, of course, South Africa is a good place. And then the UK has coins. But just to keep it simple, and I think safest and the best exit when you get out, there's nothing better than a silver eagle. And I wouldn't chase the kind of trying to get premium. When silver's flat, goes up a bit, comes back a bit, and those premiums expand because you've got such a great coin. 5 years go by, and now people are spending $10 more per ounce or $30 more per ounce for that coin. That's great. But if silver's going to go, like I think it is, to $500 and then higher, those premiums as a percentage are going to be meaningless. So the thing, Philharmonic, God, I'm telling you, I hope my brain isn't, because of sugar and cholesterol and blood pressure, I hope I'm not losing my brain. Yes, the Philharmonic. But anyway, get as many ounces, not just try to buy things at the lower premium. If I understand it correctly, buy the lesser expensive because there is not a difference. Yeah. Well, Giuseppe, there is a collectible premium. And for example, once we get into January, you're going to be buying 2025 coins. So it's unknowable how many are issued. Theoretically, because there's a limited supply of the 2024s, there'll be a premium to those if people want to own 2024s. But the Silver Eagle basically looks the same every year. And I don't think it's worth chasing the premium. It gets a little different with the koala bears and the Canadian Mint does these coins, like they'll do the, I don't know, the moose, or they'll do a lynx, or they'll do a cougar, or they'll do I'm trying to remember some of the other ones. And sometimes those get a premium because the artwork is very nice, and there's a limited supply, and those will go. That's more for trading. If you want to buy and you catch a wave, you can sell for a profit. But your goal should just be, and you can do that. You can trade just like with the stock, but your goal should be owning as many ounces as possible. If I'm correct, and I think I will be, let's say silver, let's pick a number. It's $40. You're buying it under 30 now, but let's say it's $40 and it goes to 500. Let's call that $400. That's 10x. Whether you pay $45 per ounce or $50 per ounce is going to pale. You know, let's say those two coins keep, one has a $5 premium, one has a $10 premium. When it goes to 400, one is worth 405 and one is worth 410. Maybe. More likely is the $10 premium will mostly disappear. But whatever happens, it's a rounding error. It's the mistake of selling one day instead of the other day. It's not a significant thing. So if you're buying 500 ounces of silver, I'd rather pay $40 than $45 for premium. It just doesn't make sense. Thank you. Ham hasn't called, so I might sign off, or I might see if there's an article to read. G-Bucks, Daniel, is at 116. Wow. Ham is a wiener. Or he has a wiener, a winner. I just realized that could be interpreted a couple of different ways. Let me just see if there's... By the way, those of you who were annoyed with me on not updating that gold company, I get it. I'm not really allowed to till the money's in, but I think we might have good news on that area soon, and then I'll have a Zoom call. Try to have it before the end of the year. I'll do more than one. Just seeing if there's an article worth reviewing. There might not be. Economics 101. I don't want to go through Economics 101. I don't really see any articles that will, I don't see any articles which would, grazie, signore, grazie. I love that silver, let's look, let's see. Here's the team that just got to have it. 19 years of experience in the gift industry. That's pretty cool. That's a long time. Started in 2010. Sales. Allison, my aim is true. Allison. All right, let's get off of Teams after all. All right, let me just see here. I want to look at what did yeah, there, I wanted to look at this. Let me just see if you're seeing it. You are, okay. Now I gotta find it. Okay. Gold price down 45, 25.91. Silver, yay! 29 smackers. I love it. I love it. I hope it stays down. There's some charts. This is your brain on gold. This is gold. Let's see how silver's doing. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Gold performance. Look at this. Let's just go through this. Gold performance in 2009, up 23, 10, up 30, 11, up 10, 12 up 7, 13 down 30, flat, down 10 and 15, up 10 and 16, 17 up over 10, 18 flat, 19 up 20, in 20 was up 25, 21 flat, 22 flat, 23 up 13. This year up 30%, so it's averaged 8% per year. That's not that great, I guess, compared to the Australian dollar. Is that what that is? Canadian dollar? No, this is in US dollars. In Australian dollars, similar, in Canadian, in the Swiss franc. Not sure what CNY, it's not coming to my head. The euro, I don't know why that's hard for me to think. Anyway. 10, the British pound. So this is the relative strength of the currencies, by the way. Let's see what silver did. Wow, it's much more volatile. It was up 50%, 80%, down 10, up 8, down 35, down 19, down 11, up 17 cents. But then you come down, it's basically the same average, a little bit less. This might be a place you could go to buy, but I like my favorite for, I think, security and volume is APMEX. I like that. That's a nice little gift. Out of stock. I like that. I like that. But American Eagles, you can buy the coins. Let me see if you're looking at this. Yeah, you are. Yeah. Okay, so then you come down. I haven't been on this page in a long time. Look at the 2008 38.63. The 2024 47. Oh, it's because of this first strike. 2025 $38. So click on that. It's a pre-sale. And here's a monster box. There's a mini monster, the monster box, sealed. I don't know why this one is lower. Oh, MD Premier. You don't have to do that. You save $500, do this. So you set it up, you wire, and you get this at home. 2 straps, don't open it. And that's where you should start. That's where you should start. And if you can't afford that much, you don't have to. I'm not saying go into debt to get it done. Did you sell half your nicks? I never learned. I actually think I was pretty clear, but nicks doubled, and I don't have a, I'm not a big swinging player, but I bought some rare, so I don't know exactly where I am, but um, uh, Benjamin, what I saw is, and I warned this all along on Nix, that the reason I was saying so vociferously to buy Nix is you were buying it in support. You were buying it in support. Once it rallied up, and that's the $5 line, you've got the risk it comes back down to support. So, and every time it's gone up there or slightly above it, it pulls back. So I'm not negative on it. I'm not negative on it. It's just that it was a chance, risky, albeit, but I don't have a portfolio where I can just have 10 things. I mean, I'm just trying to rebuild. I think Rail has the potential because of its chart and for all the reasons. It's no longer R&D. It's out marketing its product, and it's apparently fantastic. So the chart on Rail, and I should look, it's gotten screwed up because they had a print down at like a penny. So it's all squished, and I can't really look at it anymore. And I can't tell you where support starts, but the chart on it looks like it's breaking out. And I think if Rail breaks out of 40 cents roughly with some volume, it's going to 60 cents. And I don't see that as much resistance. So I think it could go to, I don't know, 80 cents, $1.20. Hell, it could run to $1.60. I think, it's a lot like holding something under pressure, and you pops the lid, it boils over. So, but my risk now, Benjamin, I think Nix is going to do great. I haven't changed my mind. I just think it's on hiatus for the Christmas holidays. That's a guess. I could be wrong. But hey, I worked on Wall Street. I used to try to work over the holidays to get ahead of everybody. It never worked. Everybody's gone, and then your clients are gone. So it's might as well have gone on vacation. So I think people are going to go on vacation. So you're going to say, well, why don't you feel that way about Rail? The reason I don't feel that way about Rail is Rail seems to be breaking out right now. It's multicultural. It's Canada, although they probably take long vacations too. But I also think it's a worldwide story about AI. And they just went to that Vancouver Best of conference. And I have a feeling that the whole idea of AI is a well-greased channel of thought for everybody. So I just feel like it's going to, maybe it gives you this week and next week to buy it. But I think it can break out of 40 and be 60 in a heartbeat. And then it's a lot like my idea on silver. I don't think you're going to have much longer to buy silver under 40. And I don't think you're going to have much longer to buy Nix under 40. Thank you, Fernando. I can't sing that song, but it comes to mind. Fernando. I'm getting robbed in QNC. I don't know much about it. Market maker sign mugged me for pennies. Yeah, Q1C. Oh, yeah, we looked yesterday. Well, if you know the story, you have a little bit of longer view, maybe you hang on, buy more. But if you don't know the story, it makes you feel helpless. The difference between Democrats and Republicans, it used to be, the reason I was a Democrat, and I still am, but that might have been a Freudian slip. biggest reason I would remained a Democrat is, I guess to put it bluntly, civil rights, equal rights, uh, the idea that every American, regardless of race, creed, uh, or sex, had the same opportunities uh, in life, and I still stand by that. And I think the Democratic Party was at the forefront of it. Secondly, I do think there's a role of government, and that role, for example, is best exemplified by our Defense Department, and I think the United States government has done good around the world. I think it has kept the peace worldwide, mostly. Um, and that's improved the lifestyle of not only Americans, and of course it's for Americans that it's probably done, but it's helped um, standards of living around the world. And then I guess finally is education. I think the Democrats have stood for public education. I don't really like the idea of these privatized crap or privatized prisons. Um, and I think the one area that every child in America, whether she's Black, Asian, Haitian, uh, you know, uh, Palestinian, uh, Irish, whatever, every child should have the equal opportunity to the same education. And to me, that means if you're in a poor local school district, that needs to be equalized with either directly leveling all districts or with federal money. The one area that gives every human being freedom, every human being an opinion, every human being a right to express herself is education. And if I could teach one thing, it's that you can read. Um, and on that subject, I would also say um, sort of the concept. I don't think the government should be in the welfare business or uh, the plantation business, as it's come to be called. But I do think the government should be there to help you up if you fall down. They do it for the banksters with tax dollars. Goldman Sachs wouldn't exist today without the government giving them a hand. And I think the government should give human beings a hand. I think Republicans, as an alternative from Hillary Clinton's Barry Goldwater days, have been more racist, more white man, more uh, on the side of business and banks and lack of regulation and those kind of things. Um, but they've been less war, less smaller government. Uh, I guess they became sort of, they went from Eisenhower to Reagan. But under George W. Bush, the Republican Party went crazy and they adopted the insane, the new American century, Wolfowitz, Cheney, Rumsfeld. It's just insanity. Newland and her husband, Robert Kagan. And that's been a disaster. And Republicans took lying to a whole new level. Anyway, so lately, what I see as the difference is next to nothing. I think the rhinos align themselves with war and the Democrats. Cheney supports Kamala Harris. There's no difference between Republicans and Democrats. None that matters. They're all for the same things. Everything. What I think Trump has done is created a new Republican Party, and it's based on the working class. The Democratic Party, that's another reason I was a Democrat, because I'm really for the working class and the middle class. But that's all reversed on itself. I don't see a difference, except Trump is making a difference. And I think it's for the good. America still has good ideals and still has a strong work ethic and still can make a difference. All right, Ham just called me.
I'm sorry I didn't see your text. I was driving.
Yeah. Wow. All right.
180%. Connected to.
Let's see if I can get you on. I can't get you on it. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to hang up and start again. Darn it. I hope my phone doesn't need to be replaced. While I'm doing that, I'm trying to get him back on. Don't be afraid, Robert. If Nix goes down, don't be afraid to reestablish your position. My opinion. Take advantage of a pullback. The Republican Party, my experience, is very open to debate, very open to minorities and equality, and is pretty rational. I'm actually more comfortable hanging out with Republicans than the blue-haired young ladies with nose rings. But I haven't become a Republican. I just don't think I can. All right, let me see if I can call him. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, that's just the stupid phone. Okay, you're on. I'm going to take a quick break while you start talking.
All right, everyone. I have no idea why the selling continues with DJT and Finger. It's just, I just can't believe it going into this. I spoke with my buddy who's in contact with the ex-CEO of DJT, who is a board of director and head of content, and I will be having a meeting/call with him. He told me they're well aware of making short selling and they're going to address it. I just don't know because I haven't spoken to him. When he does set up the call with me, the Zoom call, whatever, I have a couple ideas for him. When I get it done, I'll be the first to talk to. I told you we missed an opportunity yesterday. We had a guy going to the hockey game with Ryan Cohen, but that was delayed. So we'll get another opportunity at that. We have someone that's close to him, and we can get our point across there. We're doing everything we can. I just can't believe that the stock trades up, they dash it down. And don't get me wrong, I have a group of people that are buying the dip and selling the rip on this thing all the time and making 60 cents to $1. It's an easy trade. My friend one gentleman bought it at 30. let's say 35. He sold it at 36 and a quarter, and he bought it back at 34.99 a few minutes ago. And you know, every day he does it. It's just free money. You know, you make, you know, you don't have to buy a million shares. You buy 300, 500 shares. You make $500 and you move along. It gives you that opportunity, but we're not here for that. But it's just amazing that they keep doing it. It's remarkable. That guy keeps posting on Twitter, Pulte, about BIRT should be sold. The company is worthless. If they force stock settlement, they have so many naked shorts, the liability, the company's worthless. No one wants to buy that thing. It's a toxic hole. I don't know who that guy is who keeps posting it. I said, do you even know what business they're in? He has no idea. I don't know. He wants someone to buy it. I don't know why. He wants to get rid of Dirty Dog and continue the business. Go do it yourself. You don't need Dirty Dog. Go do it yourself. If they're going to allow you to make it short, go start your own business. What do you need to buy his thing for $5 billion? It's worthless. I just wanted to talk about KNW. KNW, King Nancy William, and GMGI are two companies that I reported on that we did toxic financing with Lynn Partners. KNW started out about 90 cents. Today you hit a new low of 15 cents, I think it was. I posted it every day. Yeah, the low was 15 cents. And GMGI was, you know, north of 260, 270. That broke through already also, 198. I made a new low at 190. Lynn Partners is selling shares. That's how they get their money back. They give the companies money, and the only way they get paid back, so they short the stock, and then they convert into the public company, but they convert it at the lowest price, so they sell, you know, 5 million shares of KNW at 80 cents, and they buy it back at 2 cents or 3 cents. And that's how these guys make all their money. Because if you look at it, they gave both these companies millions of dollars, and both of the companies are both flopping. How is Lynn Partners up 220% when their investments go straight down? That's the most important thing. How are these guys making money when their investments go straight down? I told you, these guys can't pick a stock. Everything they invest in goes straight down. The only way they're making money is by shorting against the right to buy the stock back. That's all they're doing. Okay? Now, again, there's so many companies, you know, that are, I have no idea why that other stock took off yesterday. I did have the company was shopping itself as a shell, and one of my good friends tried to sell the shell to my good friend, and I was in the middle of it, and I didn't even realize that was the symbol. But that's what these guys did, some sort of merger where no one wanted to take over their shell. So that could be the reason, or they merged with someone that was pretty powerful. I have no idea of why it took off. You know, it's not my thing. So anyway, William, you're back in?
I'm back.
So I talked about
Your give bucks is up.
Where is it? I'm in a car.
It was 116, but let me see what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel pointed that out to me. 117, up 2 cents. So you're rich.
Is that a 52-week high? 117? What's the high?
It is no. Yes, it is. It was the high was 116.75, which is what it is right now. It didn't. It's not really 117. That's the rounding up.
So Daniel, who just brought it to my attention, thank you, Daniel. But this is somebody show you the thinking, and this is, you know, the way I think. I own MLSS at $1. I'm giving it every chance to turn around and go up. Hopefully that's a new year. Will hopefully turn this thing around. The people I know keep telling me to stay put. It's good, you know, it's going to go, blah, 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 blah. But it's still 80 cents. So I'm down 21 cents. I have way more shares of that than I do of GBUX, right? So let's say GBUX runs to 2. I can sell that at 2, sell my MLS at 80 cents, and basically wash out the loss with a winner. and I go back to square one. Now I give up on an opportunity that has a chance to go to $20 or $30, but sometimes you do that to get it off your plate so you feel good about yourself. You know, you may have that in different other stocks, you know, that you don't really know nothing about, you want to get rid of. I always kind of give it a shot to see if it's going to work. If it doesn't pan out, I do have a profit in something else. I may start to take that profit and move it and wash out that loss. I haven't done anything yet, but I'm just trying to give you how to think like a trader and keep moving down the road. All right, the more you can survive and move down the road, the more you get another opportunity to make a big hit on something. All right, these things, ideas come around, not all great, but you got to, just try to keep trying to stay alive. So what I do, like I said, my thinking is GBUX goes, crazy, and then I can wash out some of the loss in MLSS, which I don't want to. I still think it's going to go, but for, how does the stock not go up? Whatever, I'm sitting like you, baffled. I have no idea. No stocks trade like they're supposed to trade. Trading Motion had an hour and a half in the sun up to 270, then it was like beaten down like a drum. They beat it down because they're trying to take the momentum out of the stock. You can see the stock has no sizzle to it now. They put it to sleep. Momentum is the killer. When momentum starts, all these guys with these sites start putting out momentum play, and people come to that. A lot of people just don't want to tie up their money. They don't want to invest. They want to buy it and flip it to make a quarter. That's what a lot of people are doing. Now, it's a good way to make a living, but if you're not good at it, you're going to get chopped apart. So if you're going to start day trading, at least understand what you're doing. You have to let your winners go and cut your losses. So when you're trading, when you got a winner, you got to let them go. And that's what I just discussed. Like, GBUX is going to go. I don't want to give up on it because I have to cover a loss in MLSS, which I kind of like both of them. So I'll kind of let the GBUX run a little bit, and then I'll eventually, if MLS doesn't work, then I can start selling some of that to get me back to even on all my on the investments, and then just start over again.
I would just my perspective. I agree with you. Just learned a lot from him, but I would throw in. You can also, with us, since he has a huge position in MLSS, he could sell part of it to take the tax loss, and buy more of G-Bucks as it runs, and in 31 days buy back his MLSS. The risk is, of course, you're not in MLSS when it runs, but you establish a tax loss, which you can offset against gains. But anyway, that might be too cute by half, but that would be something I would consider.
You have a different. Everyone has a different way to figure this out.
Yeah, that's right.
Listen. I've taken huge hits. I was going to be down $250,000, and you got 30 days to make it back, unless you don't get paid. So you start by making 10s and 12s and 5s. You say, okay, I'm down 250. I'm down 120. On day 20, you make a quick hit on 50,000 on something. You say, okay, I'm cutting into it. And at the end of the month, you say, okay, I'm almost even, and all of a sudden, bang, I'm up plus 10,000. At least you get a payday at the end of the month, and you made back the 250 error. When you're playing this game, you're going to have losers. Anyone tells you they don't have a loser, hang up the phone. All these guys with these services, they're all bullshit. Everyone has losers. You can't. It just happens. You don't know what's going to happen in a stock. Whether it's related to the market or anything can happen. And you just gotta learn how to get your way out of them. That's the hard part. Buying a stock, closing your eyes, saying I'm a winner. That happens, but not all the time. Stocks don't go up in a straight line. They wiggle around. They go up, they go down. And I still can't believe that someone is actually manipulating DJT. Forget every other stock. Like I can't believe that the president, the head of the DOJ, the FBI, the Secret Service, Homeland Security, who is allowing them to do it in DJT? I don't know how they're not. They said enough, but someone needs to put their foot down and say enough is enough. If you get caught naked shorting and you fail to deliver, you're going to jail. End the conversation. That ends it. And I keep posting on Twitter, These guys in Dubai, they were making sure they got short something. I don't know how big it was, but whatever it was, it had to be pretty massive. And they lost $120 million, $126 million. That's a big loss. And the only person to report it was the, what was it, the offshore newsletter, whatever it's called. I forgot what it's called. That's the only person to report it. The New York Times, the New York Post, the USA Today, no one said boom. That some offshore fund has navigated the stock settlement system, shorting stocks, and no one said anything about it. And they were busted for it. You know how bad this is that someone knows how to navigate the settlement system and just use it as a piggy bank? That's what they're doing. And they're just trying to keep moving finger motion lower. I don't get it. I just don't understand it. I wish I had an answer for you, but I don't. William, do you have an answer for it?
Yeah, they're in trouble. They just want to get to the end of the year. Could the virtue sale be a lie? David wants to know.
Can it be a lie?
That's what he says. Could a sale be a lie? Could a sale of Vert be a lie?
I don't know where this guy came from or who he is, Pulte. My friend knows when their family goes to the Notre Dame football games, he's going to see him. He'll see some of the family members tomorrow, but I keep saying to the guy, does he know what this company does? They're Ken Griffin. They're a smaller version of Ken Griffin. That's it. Who wants to buy that? No one wants to buy that. You know what they do on Wall Street, William, with companies like that? They let them die. Knight Securities was one of the best market makers around and let it die. It's out of business. They're going to let this one die and it'll be recreated into a new company with no money. Why would you give this guy $5 billion? It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. If it was so wonderful, how come Goldman didn't buy him? No one wants the liability.
Does Citadel's algorithmic machines just simply offset buying without naked shorting? Do they just make up the price?
I don't understand the question.
Nobody is nakeding short our stocks. It's all Ken Griffin right now. He does it for free and without detection or penalty. It's an algo. If there are a bunch of buys, his algo picks it up and counteracts it.
So what is he counteracting with? What's he counteracting with?
That's not my question.
What is he? Everyone who buys the security, what are they going to pillow? He's selling you a fake share. That's how he stops. He's creating liquidity. He's creating liquidity out of thin air. That's what he's doing. And if they did create a lot of liquidity at 35, they're going to definitely create more liquidity at 33 to push it to 30 and to 29. That's what they do. But there's no right to create all this liquidity. It's terrible liquidity, and it's been a loophole for many years, and it has to stop. You can see the damage. You know, I get 100 texts, phone calls. When's Finger Motion going to do the dividend? They have an auditor that's in the middle of it. Their attorneys, the auditors. I can't control that. I don't know when it's good. The guy's in China. What the hell do I know? The company, we attack the company because we don't want it over. I want it over too, but I can't. No one wants to make a mistake because if they make a mistake, it costs them 10 times more. With the SEC, if they do something, a filing wrong, anything you do wrong, you get punished for. Would I make someone go do something that's stupid and going to hurt themselves and go to jail? No, I can't say it. You can't say that. You got to let them do it. If I was the CEO, who gives a shit? It would be me. If I'm going to get myself in trouble, I'm going to do it to myself. I'm not going to advise someone else to go get themselves in trouble. It's not right. But here it is. These guys just hit the sell button. And we have to sit here and watch it. It's just remarkable. For the life of me, I know Trump won. I wanted him to win for other reasons too. but I really wanted the stock settlement system, to be repaired. And you would think that the sign would be, hey, we're gonna get out of DJT, let it go. And they're not letting it go. And I don't understand the reason why. Devin Nunes has been super quiet. We know he's met with people. We know people are talking to him. We all know that. They said they're on top of it. But, they have a committee on it. I don't understand how it doesn't go much. All they have to do is say those words. Make it short, fail to deliver. You go, your prime broker goes, and the broker that took the order goes. That's it. The fat bastard from Share Intel, the guy who worked at Morgan Stanley, I sent it to the DOJ. Just ask this guy, who's his client, and what stock did he make it short? As a broker at Morgan Stanley, they have a record of all of his trades. Am I correct, William?
Yeah.
That's all they need to know. Start with him. You want to start someplace, start there.
You could say the same thing about Finger. If they wanted to sell the company, who would buy it with a high short interest?
Now, so the reason you don't want a takeover, because if you take over, that means the stock has a lid on the stock. The short sellers would fucking shit their pants if someone just paid $10 for the company to make it all go away. Because that locks in their loss only up to $10. A takeover is no good. An equity stake is better. That's better. Not a takeover. You want to keep the upside to be infinite. You don't want to put a cap on it. A takeover puts a cap on it. And I'll give you an example of one. Back in the day, there was a company called Force Protection. It was trading north of 30. The short beat the shit out of it down to 2. The company was acquired at $5 by Northrop Grumman, I think it was. Their stock was north of 30. Think about that. So they were thrilled. It went away. All right, they got rid of the whole thing for $5. Not every one of these things works out where they they go to zero. I'm just laughing. The market went down. The rallied back 240, and all the stocks, that kind of stocks we follow, are all down. Wolf is down, Tesla's down, Riot's down, Mara's down, Mullen wasn't it like a couple of bucks the other day? It's $1 again.
I think this guy wants you to talk about NUKK and why the big players haven't jumped in. But it might be
What?
mixed.
What?
Well, I'll read it. NUKK. Any thoughts why the big players have not jumped in? Maybe he's talking about another stock. I don't know. It's a confusion.
NUKK, no one knows anything about it. It was a shell. I was offered to buy the shell when it was $1.30. All right, the company was turning it over. And they did some sort of merger with another company. And the stock took off and they raised $10 million. So now this company's got $10 million in the bank. It's got a new lease on life, right? From doing a stupid little deal. Why did it take off? I don't know. I don't know anything about the company. And why are the big players going there? Someone's there. If they traded 100 million shares, I don't know what it traded today. 12 million today?
I don't know.
Somebody's there. Someone's right there. And a stock like Finger, the big boys are going to come once the stock breaks and goes. That's when they come. They did it in GameStop. They do it in all these things.
So we're being asked inane questions by a short. So that must mean that Finger is hurting the shorts right now.
Listen, the longer it goes sideways, the worse it is for the shorts. And you say, why? If you're a short seller and you're on the phone, we all know it costs money just to keep your position alive. You got to pay something. The piper, you got to pay every day, my friend. We all know it. Every day you lose. We all know it. The 370 on the naked short, that number's lower. I just don't drop it as much. The number at 220, 221, that number goes down every day. You know, even if it's a quarter of a penny, half a penny a day in expenses, which I believe it is, half a penny, that's 2.5 pennies a week, right? 2.5, 5 cents, 10 cents a month. It goes down. That means the most they can make next month is $2.10. Right now we're at $2.20. And another month is $2. Now it's reversed. We don't even have to go up there. They're just going to kill themselves. They're in a, what do you call it, a garbage compactor. They're squeezing themselves. Does everyone realize they're going to lose 10 cents a month? It's at $2.20 right now. In a little bit, it's going to be $2.10. And then another couple of weeks later, it's going to be $2. Because they keep spending a dime a month to stay alive. Nothing is free on Wall Street. They got to keep paying. They got to pay off their brokers. They got to pay them with money. They got to pay the prime broker to look the other way. Who knows how many people are on their payroll they're paying off? It's a crime family. They're paying off everything. Lynn Partners has all those people in the office. They got to pay everybody. The cost to carry is expensive. And that's the problem. The shorts, they had their opportunity to wipe out this company a long time ago, and they couldn't do it. They got MULN. They wiped them out good, right? They reversed the stock 5 times, right? KNW is the new poster child. 90 cents, they're down to 15 cents. Lynn's going to finish the job there soon, right? What are they going to have to do? They said they're going to gain compliance. The other day, they jammed it up to 36 cents on their gaining compliance. Well, what did I say? There's no way. Straight back down. That was the CEO telling everybody. They made him say something. You got to say something. The CEO says something. Who sold all the shares into it? Lynn. Lynn needs money to fight the battle over here. Like the U.S., we're sending money to the Ukraine so they can fight all these battles, right? Well, Lynn is doing the same thing. They got to fight the battle in finger motion, so they got to take money or troops from the KNW or GMGI. That's why both of those stocks are acting awful, going down. They're picking up a pace up to the downside now. Why? Because Lynn needs money back. They got to meet the margin calls on this side of the fence.
How come Finger Motion hasn't released a press release since the October 16, 2024 earnings release? I hope the next press releases are about the dividends and contracts.
Okay. So do I. I can't. I'm not in a contract meeting. We know the CEO said mid-December for the dividend. They're waiting for an auditor. He can't be any more honest than he said. We all know. I'm repeating exactly what he said. And you can hear that. You can hear that the people losing their patience because the company's not moving fast. Listen, call the company up, tell them to write a fake report. They got $1 billion contract from the Chinese government. Put it out. They can all run to China and hide because they'll go to jail. We'll all make a fortune and we'll be happy ever after. But I don't think they're going to do that. But you can try, see if they'll do it for us. Sorry for the sarcastic answer, William.
It's fine. I'm tired of answering about the dividends.
No, it's not the dividend. The company cannot, again, if you know anybody who's been in a public company, the lawyers, the accountants control the company. Because if you fight the SEC and the short sellers without going with your lawyers and protection, these guys will all shit their pants. They're afraid. Probably. They're all afraid. Can we say this? No. Can we talk about making shorts? We don't want to do that. We don't want the SEC knocking on our door because then we got to get the lawyer. We got to pay the lawyers $50,000 to go address the SEC stupid questions. As you can see, how many companies Elon Musk gets called, but Elon can afford anything. These guys send notices out to everybody. You got to spend $100,000 to defend yourself, whether you like it or not. That's what they do. there's no volume in finger marks, and they manipulate it down. I can't stop it. You know, none of us can stop it. We can't. All you can do is accumulate. That's all we can do. But the CEO said it's coming, so I believe the CEO. What else you got, Wayne?
That's it. There's a company called TCBP who's issuing a dividend trying to fight the shorts.
Is it doing it? I saw it's like 70 cents. Is that the one?
I guess I didn't look it up, but one gentleman told us about it.
Is it 70 cents? I don't know where it is. I saw it. I didn't get a chance to read it.
TCPB, probably 70 cents.
They said the board approved. I don't know if they're doing it yet. I saw that press release yesterday, so I think they said the board approved, or the board is going to approve, or something like that.
CEO has every right to give future revenue projections based on contracts. He refuses to do so. That's actually factually wrong. The CEO cannot give future revenue projections just willy-nilly. I mean, he may, in the context of a lawyer's approved presentation, he's got to be very careful. He cannot promote his stock. A CEO cannot be viewed as promoting the stock price. That's just a fact. And I'm sorry.
Later, they call it preparing the market. You can't prepare the market. That's what they call it. And you know what? The small companies will never do it because they get looked at the most. Where, like, when Elon Musk comes out, or who's the best at doing that is Boeing. Boeing used to come out. We sold 10 airplanes. We did it. We got $500 million in sales. They make that announcement. 4 months from now, those contracts, the stock goes up $15 on that big news. And then 4 months from now, they canceled one plane. 3 months, 5 months, they cancel another plane. And they slowly, that contract goes from 5 planes that were sold down to 1. But big companies like that, they're allowed to say that. Small companies cannot. I've never seen small companies, if they're hyping this stuff up like that. If you hype it up, you stand a chance of the SEC coming down your throat. What else you got, William?
There isn't anything. Steve bought more ZJYL today.
Where's that at?
He bought it at 71 yesterday. So it's up. And he doesn't like silver. That's fine. You don't have to do it. Pulte is messing with Virtue. Think it will expose shorts in GME.
Oh.
He's trying to gain favor with the Roaring Kitty cult.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about. That's why I said
Ryan Rang has been out of the loop, so if it doesn't waste your time, since he doesn't care enough to pay attention to his investments closely, he wants to ask you about the finger warrants. Don't answer him. Don't answer him.
But say it again. You want me to ask you about?
No, don't answer him. I've talked about the dividend. He's just wasting time. He's being a jerk. If he doesn't, Ryan, if you don't care about your investments, don't waste somebody else's time asking somebody else to repeat for the upteenth time information just because you're lazy and you can't look it up yourself.
Go on, just Google it. Go look at Google. Say what is it?
Go listen to the interview. Martin Shen took his time to give to you, and I'm telling you, he took his time to do it. and he paid for the room and he did all that. You don't have time to listen. So go back and read a novel. Silver is the biggest hoax on the market. All right, Steve, that's odd. I just contradicted yourself. If a big company can do it, so can a smaller one. Projecting revenue? No, I'm telling you. The lawyer, look, a big company, a CEO can probably throw her weight around. But a small company, the lawyers are going to say, you can't do this. You can't say it. You're going to get sued. The SEC is going to throw you in jail. Bill, next time you're a CEO, let me know what your lawyers tell you can do. I'm telling you, I know from my own experience, you can't do it. You can't make the projection. You can't make a promise. You can't make a hope. Now, if you get a contract and it has the numbers in it, you can report that contract. You can't extrapolate. You can't make it look good or bad. You can't say a thing. But Bill, if you want Martin Shen to go to jail, I'll recommend to Martin Shen that he
call up the company. Tell them to make projections. You tell them whatever you like. I don't care. Tell them hopefully I don't care. I'm down to do it. I don't care.
Univest cancellation and the 8K.
Now the Univest cancellation was months ago. We heard about it, and if you watch William's video, he talked about Univest and how they remain a partner, but they're just not doing anything together.
Nixie, Whitelaw resigned. Whitelaw was the CEO of some show, and he came into it in March. He was appointed CEO. This is before anything was going on. He collected 250,000 shares for doing fuck all, and now he's resigning. It's not a big deal. In fact, I think it's good news because it sets the company up to go on with its plan. Anyway, that's my answer on that. Ryan's been busy. Oh, so Ham's not busy. Ham can just regurgitate this crap because you've been busy? Nah, see you later.
Listen, guys, we try to do it every day for you. We've done it in slow motion. I've done it backwards, forwards. The company's issuing a special dividend in the form of a warrant. The warrant converts into stock at a certain number. All right, let's say it's $3. If the stock goes to 100, you can convert from 3 to 100. You make $97. That's what the warrant is good for. Everyone who owns the stock as a retail investor is going to be 1 for 10. You got 1,000 shares, you're going to get 100 shares of a free warrant. It'll be a different symbol, FNGR and FNGRW. So it trades to the right, finger motion trades to the left. Since it has 2 years before it expires, usually an option or a warrant will have premium on it. We discussed the other day how a $40 call in DJT for next week is probably worth 70 cents or 80 cents. So you got 2 weeks, and you got to pay 80 cents for the option, or the right to own stock at 40. Imagine a warrant for the stock at 3 for 2 years. What would the market be in it? It's got to be $1 at least. You're just paying 80 cents for 2 years for a warrant on something that's 8 days away, 10 days away. Or excuse me, an option that's 10 days away. So when that premium or that option or warrant is trading at $1, and you have 100 of them, you own 1,000 shares, you're going to get 100. You have 10,000, you're going to get 1,000. Do you really want to sell it and make $1 on 100 shares? You make $100, or do you want to hold on and just let it go? By us holding on, the short seller is going to be short 23 million of those things. How are they going to cover them? It's all dispersed amongst everybody. So they're going to have a tough time trying to buy those warrants. And if the warrants explode, the stock is going to explode. That's how it works. There you go. It's pretty easy.
I guess you weren't busy. Ryan thanks you because he's a busy man and you're not.
So anyway, so that is the gist of it. And if you go read the Dole Food story, D-O-L-E, the pineapple company, there's a famous story. Dole has too many shares. The company was taken over, went private. The shareholders sued the company. The shareholders won. Now it's a private company. All you had to do is show up with your ownership statement, and you would get $3 in its special dividend. $3. Well, over 13 million shares showed up. 13 million shares showed up, and they had no paperwork on who they were. The company only had, I think it was 36 million shares, and the company, 49 showed up. And they said, wait a second, who are these people? And it goes back to show you that naked shorts infiltrated that stock, that system, and no one detected it. And there was 13 million counterfeit shares that went all the way through all the channels, undetected. And that's why it's an important case. So a special dividend exposes the problem. I went to the law firm of Morgan Lewis Bockius, one of the most prestigious law firms on the street, and they helped me design this dividend a long time ago. So we know how it works. Companies are afraid of their shadows to do it. It took big shareholders to push this through. That's how hard it is. Because the company sitting here, that board of directors, not everybody's on the same page. What if these guys are wrong? Why would we do it? There's all kinds of questions. But the management has finally said yes, and they're going to go through with it. CEO says they're going to do it. They're waiting for an audit to be done. Does the company wanted to have an audit done because they had to change the auditors for accounting purposes? I don't think the company wanted to do this. But things happen, and what are you supposed to say? The short didn't go away, that's for sure. So I can sit here and wait for the company to do what they have to do. That's what I say. I can't help you if you want to get out. You could listen. I don't want to see anybody lose a penny. But your U.S. government, your SEC, the DOJ, the FBI, FINRA, the Secret Service, they've all turned their back, and no one's done anything. Donald Trump has to do something. If they don't do something, we'll do it ourselves, and that is a special dividend. We all want to cash out, trust me. You're not the only person. Everybody wants out. Everybody wants to get money, go on and do what they want to do. And you know what? Warren Buffett always said, the stock market is what, William? Money going from people that have patience to inpatient. Inpatient money goes to people that are patient.
Yeah.
I mean, as they keep selling this stock.
All right, so Bill, I know you own your own company and it's private. You can make as many projections as you want. When a small company trades in the market and it goes down and you've made projections, you're going to get sued and you could go to jail. And that's what your lawyers are going to tell you. So please, Bill, do not go public. Stay private.
Bill.
What?
Call the company up and tell them to make statements. We're with you. I don't care if they go to jail. I could care less. They want to make crazy statements.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Put pressure on Finger Motion to make projections. Go ahead. That's true. It's a good point. It's a good point.
Listen, make projections, make a phony state. I don't give a shit what you say as long as the stock goes up. I'm with you.
In the interview, he did say he was getting funding maybe this year in Finger, but guess what? You need an audit first, and it's now the third week in December. My guess is any funding is going to be in January if it happens. Can we stop obsessing on every single bit of news on Finger? Because nothing's changed. And anyway, maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay. Definitely getting old. Can't go to the courts for help. So what can you do? Yeah, it's frustrating. Companies give forward-looking projections all the time, usually at conference calls and after earnings.
Listen, we're with you. Call the company up and tell them to make a statement. We're all on board. We're not going to fight. I'm not going to fight you on that. I make a statement. If I can't make a statement, I'm not the company. If I was the company, forget I'd be throwing the company.
All right. Well, it's been 41 minutes. I know you'd like to go for an hour, so you have to come up with something. There aren't any questions.
No, there's nothing to say. I'm just, that it looks like the market is, I would never have been buying this rally here. It's gotta fade. I think it'll fade into the weekend.
Yeah.
It's up 283 points after the big wipeout yesterday. But it's so funny. All the stocks that we follow go down when the market sells off. The market rallies, our stocks go down. They never rally. Selling never stops. This is manipulation. This is how they take advantage of you. That's how they take advantage of it. We can't stop it. I wish I could, but I can't. There's nothing to say. We'll see you tomorrow. What am I going to do? It's 2 o'clock.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a shitty day. We're all there.
Mad Max points out that fingers at 2 again. Yeah.
I know.
I actually looked at the chart earlier and I thought it looked okay, but yeah. It's just every time they see stocks up, they try to short them down. That's not real selling. But, they can walk it down.
All right, listen. I don't want to sound like it's a funeral march here. You guys are all jumping off the cliff. If you want to sell, I can't stop you. If you want to take a loss, do what you have to do. I can't, protect your family. We didn't create this mess. We're educating you on the mess. It's the same mess in every stock. We're trying our best. We focused on one stock. The stocks with the biggest messes, unfortunately, are not rising because they know that these are deadly positions on the short side. If you're short, what would you do? These guys are standing with a gun in their mouth. If the stock broke 270 the other day and took off, these guys had to pull the trigger and blow their brains out because they're going to jail. The 126 million the guys in Dubai lost, these guys are going to blow that in 5 minutes. It'll be 10. They'll lose $1 billion in $5. They'll be out $1 billion. So this is how deadly these things are. Now, I don't know why Trump isn't doing the right thing. Why isn't he speaking? I don't know. Everybody around him knows. I have people that they all know. I don't understand. I can't put words in his mouth. He saved the crypto industry. He needs to come out and save the stock market. Enough of the bullshit. Anyway, listen, William, I'll give you a call later. I got to leave now. I'll be back home. All right,
Okay. All right. NASDAQ is complicit in reverse splits to destroy. It's a complete farce. You cannot recover. Quad witching Friday. That's interesting, and it's a quiet time. All right, I'm gonna sign off. There doesn't seem to be much. It's a buying opportunity. It could be. I think you just have to have the framework, though, that it's an investment, not a trading stock necessarily. It could turn into a trader. But I think over the next 2-3 weeks, finger could be $4. Not weeks, months. Just trying to think if there's anything else. I don't understand that gentleman who comes on to tell you that silver is a scam. There's no way he can be paid by the silver industry or be a short. I guess he could be, but it's such a big market. We're not going to influence it every way. Look, if silver's under 30, I would back up the truck and buy silver. Anyway, I'm gonna go get some lunch. I haven't eaten, and get about some things today. So thank you for signing up. I pray for peace in the world, and we'll talk to you, I'm pretty sure, tomorrow. Cheers.